This is Sampurnam Inner Healing Collective, a space we've created to gently explore healing that goes beyond symptoms and to reconnect with the deeper intelligence of the body and mind. Over the last 3 weeks, we've been slowing down, observing, and allowing ourselves to listen more closely to what we need. In week 4, we'll be exploring access bars and Bowen therapy, two gentle hands on modalities that support deep relaxation, nervous system balance, and the release of stored stress from the body. We are joined today by Ms. Nita Shetty, a certified integrative healing practitioner dedicated to empowering individuals on their journey to holistic well being. With over a decade of experience, Ms. Shetty blends her experience in Bhavan therapy, body talk, access bars, and energetic facelift to offer transformative, non-invasive healing practices. We'll come back together towards the end of the session for a short Q&A and some reflections. With that, I would like to invite Neeta ji to begin today's session.
Thank you, Nitya, for that kind introduction. And namaste to all of you. And thank you for making the time for this today. The plan that I have in mind is to take you through a little bit of the background of the two modalities that I practice at Sampurnam and also tell you what it can do for you. Besides that, I would like to give you some tools which you can use for yourself through these two modalities and practice it regularly and see what can happen for you. So, are we together on this? I just need a thumbs up from everybody. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. All right, before we begin, I'd like you to just sit in a relaxed manner, gently shut your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Now, try and reflect on the day which has gone by. And as you reflect on the day which has gone by, think of one thing or one person or one situation today that has happened which you are grateful for. Once you have come to that point, please just say a gentle thank you to that moment or that person in your mind. Take a few more deep breaths, and when you're ready, you can open your eyes. How do you feel about this? Anyone who'd like to say something? Yeah, Antara, carry on.
Yeah, I felt good because I remember starting the day when I wanted to be in the garden, it was wet and I got irritated. And now, when I sat down to reflect, I realized that, there were such good moments during the day, and to just spend that moment in reflecting was really nice. Yeah, thank
Great.
you.
Anyone else who'd like to share? Thank you, Antara, for sharing that. Okay, that's all right. So, gratitude, it softens our nervous system. And the moment we reflect and, express our gratitude, we also make it easy for us to receive something. And as I'm talking about this, you will see that when I get into access bars, you will see that it is completely about receiving and not just about getting a therapy done. I'd like to share my screen now with you all. Is that clear to everyone?
Yes, Neeta ji. Yes.
All right. Okay, so the first things first. Now we have something written as access consciousness. If you look at it, this is the company actually under which Access Bars runs. It's called Access Consciousness, and it has been named so with a purpose. So, Access is a set of tools and processes that are designed to facilitate more consciousness for everyone. And what is consciousness? Consciousness is the ability to be present in your life in every moment without judgment of you or of anyone else. Besides that, it is also the ability to continually awaken more possibility, more choice, and more life. Access invites you to acknowledge you as the infinite being you truly are and to function from infinite perceiving, knowing, being, and receiving. And this is the main thing about access, that it works on the principle of receiving more. And we can only receive when we have opened up ourselves with no judgment of self or someone else. Would you agree with that? Let's keep this interactive. I am not looking at everybody just keeping quiet. You can give me a reaction. You can just say what you want. Please. Great. All right. Now, let's look at what is access bars. Has anyone heard of access bars? Anyone here who knows about access bars has got their bars run? So, access bars is a gentle hands on modality and that activates 32 points on the head. Now, these points are what we call the bars, and we say we are running the bars for you. And they correspond to areas like healing, peace, joy, aging, awareness, sexuality, money, control, creativity, and many other things. Because there are 32 points, it will stand for something. Now, essentially, what happens is in an access bars uh, session is that the person has to come with 60 minutes in hand. It is a 60-minute long session where you come and you lie down, and the practitioner will first, connect themselves with you. How this works, how the bars work, is once the body of the practitioner and the patient is joined, then the energy flow happens from the feet and runs through the head of the practitioner. So that is how you release. And what do you release in this? You release any kind of old patterns, any kind of limiting thinking, any kind of stress which is unwanted by you. And here, you don't need to relive any kind of experience that you may have had in the past, which was not good. This is a system where it will just flow. It will flow and allow for those things to start releasing. And if you ask me about how long does it take for people to start releasing, that question is always best answered by the body. We can never predict for anybody as to how much time it takes for them. For some people, it could happen in 1 or 2 sessions, but for some, it could take longer. The essential thing is to have faith in your body's own wisdom to be able to release it and get better. Are you with me on all this? Any questions at this point? Though we will have a question answer session later. If you have anything in your mind which is coming up, you can share it.
Is it a in-person session that we need to take, ma'am?
Yes. Thank you, Pratibha, for that beautiful question because I was going to come to that. Now, unlike a lot of therapies which can be done distance, this has to be a in person. And because that touch which the practitioner does with the person there has to happen for that energy to flow in that manner. And the bars can only run when you are touching a person and working with them. So it has to be in person. Okay?
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Any
Another,
other question at this point?
yes, ma'am. You said that it helps in releasing old patterns. I
Mm-hmm.
was just wondering that then when we come to a session, we have to have a clear-cut intention, or is it a general healing session and things get released?
So, this is also an interesting question, Meeta. What I do find is people come with intention, for sure. For most people, they come with some thought. Otherwise, they would not be coming for a session. Would you agree?
Right, right.
So when they come with a certain intention. But a lot of times, what happens is when the body is being touched at these 32 points or the bars are being run, it could just go into those aspects which is in your subconscious. It's not even something that you're thinking about. And it starts to release.
Hmm.
All
Okay.
right. So
Thank
you
you.
may have an intention, and that could be worked on as well, not in terms of, there's no kind of talking to each other as such to release it. It's just the body's way of releasing it through these bars.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome. Now it all begins with a question, it says here, and this is really about the man who founded access bars and access consciousness and many other body processes under the same access consciousness. He, in fact, had come in his life to a point where it was a no go for him. It looked like he can't do anything further in his life. And then questions started coming up for him. And the question which was with him was, what would I like my life to be like? And the moment he kept that question with him, he just thought of it and he started looking for possibilities. See, essentially, when I say question here, it is not just answer one question. It is the point here is to get into possibilities that are there for you, which probably one is ignoring because one is so stuck with that situation at that moment in life that you're unable to look at what the universe can actually give you. And that's when he found his answers and his possibilities. And he started to put this thing together so that he could offer the same to others who may need it because of some traumas or any kind of dilemma or any of those things. Let's just look at some of those questions which are there. What else is possible? What does this question say to you? A lot of times I'm thinking about something and I feel this is the only solution for it, and that is not a solution I want to have. But I can think about what else is possible, and the moment I dwell on the question, it will actually give me the possibilities and probabilities of those things which can open up for me. And if you look at some of the other questions which are written right in front of you, I would like to go to the question which says, how does it get any better than this? At this point, I want to share my own experience with this question. At the time when this question was put to me, I was suffering with an autoimmune disease, which had started to show up on my skin. It was disturbing me, despite the fact that me and my doctor were doing our best that we could for me. Yet, it wasn't something that was keeping me happy in any manner. I was always looking at my, skin and feeling like, oh my God, why me? Why is this happening? And, you know, those kind of uh, nirash karne wale things I kept saying to myself. And I met a practitioner who's also a friend, and she just said this, how does it get any better than this? When she said this to me, I just felt like, why is she even saying this to me? I'm feeling bad about this. It's not as if I'm happy that, I can look at it, this getting better in any manner. And, but the question stayed with me. The question stayed with me, and I realized in a couple of days, things started to open up in my mind of the possibility that my skin, though had these issues, yet there was nothing really wrong with what was happening on the inside. Or if I could not use my hand or my legs in any manner, I was still able to do that. And I said, this is how it gets better than this. I'm not getting stuck with this issue that I have. And I need to look beyond it to those possibilities which are already there for me. But I have been ignoring it because I'm so bogged down with what I have. And that actually was the start of the access bars for me. That is when I went to become a certified bars practitioner. And I realized that this is what can help many people, break out of that cycle of or a pattern of repetitive discomfort, questioning and judging oneself. This is beyond judgment. And that's what I think is the beauty of access bars, that it helps you come into the space where you go beyond judgment on for your own self and for others. And if you weren't afraid to fail, what would you choose? Say a question like that when it comes up for me or for anyone, it just tries to give you other possibilities, other options, which probably we don't think of because we are stuck in a certain way. Because of our experiences, our belief systems, they hold us back, don't they? And this kind of questions, this is a tool that I'm wanting to give you all to practice for yourself. Not just these questions, but begin anything with a question. Whenever you think you have come into a situation or some part of your life is not seeming what it was supposed to be, put a question to that and just see what is the possibility that can open up for you. Okay, so this is the first tool that I want to give you. And one of the best questions that I've ever worked with really is, does this feel light or heavy? This works in any and every situation. For example, if I'm about to do something, sometimes it's happened, we want to do, say, I want to do a course, or I haven't thought of it, somebody else is wanting to do a course, they want me to come along with them. And then I have to, I give in because it's a friend, but I'm not feeling so great about it. I'm feeling heavy about it. So this is a question which I would put for myself and say, okay, am I feeling light about this or am I feeling heavy? And then depending on what comes out of it, I will take my decision. Okay? Are you all with me? Yes. And this is the mantra of access. Can one of you please read it for me?
All of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory.
Yes. Now thank you, Malika. This line, all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory, is a line which is a mantra given to anyone who's practicing access, anyone who comes for a bar session. We would give it to them. And if you practice saying this 10 times in the morning and 10 times at bedtime, you can actually shift many things for yourself. It is time tested by me and many others. And you can take this mantra with you and practice it for yourself to see how it is going to make a difference to you. So far, any questions on this? So just telling you briefly about what access bars, can do for you. Why should you choose it? Because it really gives you deep mental relaxation. 60 minutes of bars being run for you, invariably, I find when the person gets up from that bed, they look different. They look completely relaxed. It works on your stress and anxiety relief. A lot of people look at this system because it's a non invasive system. And it's very, very gentle. And it can be done for a young person, can be done for an older person. You don't necessarily need to lie down. Even when somebody is just sitting on a chair, I could still do it for them. There are times some people are unable to lie down. So we can even do it like that. So it's that gentle. It supports better sleep. Now, because it works on de-stressing you, it can help you with your sleep. And and as I said, it works on the nervous system. It will help you relax better, and so therefore you will sleep better. It gives you emotional ease. When we have old thought patterns or limiting beliefs or any kind of emotional baggage, this system can just help you relieve it without actually going through the experience of it. I think I've already said this before. It can enhance your clarity and focus, because the moment you start to declutter your mind, you start to get more relaxed, and therefore there is more clarity in your thought, and you can also focus better on whatever you want to do. This may be a very gentle therapy, but it is very, very powerful. It can be used along with any other therapy that you do. So if you are coming for a Bowen session, or say if you're going for Ayurveda, um, anything, you can just get an access bars done with that. It does not come in the way of anything. This is really an invitation to receive. Access bars is in the world where we are always told to do something more. Access bar invites you to simply receive, rest, receive ease, and receive awareness. And it just increases all that in your mind. So, with that, this is what I wanted to tell you about access bars. And as I always say, there's lots that one can say about any of these therapies. The best way to understand it is always to experience it. There are also short sessions that can be done, like a 20-minute demo session. So the person gets to understand how this session works for them. Okay. Now, when I'm talking about the points that we touch, there are certain points on which are we're just made to stop, as if the body is asking for us to hold it a little bit longer. One of the examples of that was about this person who was getting older and was still not feeling settled in life. So for them, the aging point, just I had to hold on to that for a longer time, just because they needed that release to happen. And before the session, I did not know about it. And after the session, when the person asked me, and I said something like this came up, and he just turned around and said, yes, I really do think I'm aging faster than what I have achieved in life, and therefore I'm not feeling happy. So it's just what should I say, a natural way for the body to release those things. Okay. Moving on to Bowen therapy. Would you like to have your questions answered for Access first, and then go into the Bowen therapy?
Neetaji, there's one question
Yes.
from Mr. Prabir Sen.
Mm-hmm.
That the question is this like a manifestation process? But I think you've already answered the question. It's more about receiving
It's
than
about,
manifesting. But yeah, I mean,
that's
if you want
right.
to comment.
So, I think in today's time, this word manifestation is becoming so common, and you see it in every reel or every video that, is about wellness. Well, there's nothing wrong with that, but this is really about receiving and understanding that there are possibilities which we end up ignoring because we want to stay, we get so stuck with a pattern in our mind which is holding us back, or our belief system or something of that kind, which was also common to body talk, for that matter. I think when you went through that with Dr. Pankaj, you saw that even in that we had belief systems which we are holding on to, and that needs release. And unless they get released, the pattern will keep on repeating itself. I hope I've answered his question. Any other question? Yes, please, Antara, carry on.
Yeah. So when you're talking of release, what does that look like? Is it just a lightness you feel, or is there some, I mean, when you're talking of release?
So it can feel like lightness, it can feel like sleepiness, it could feel like feeling more thirsty because I haven't given myself enough hydration. It could feel like happiness in a certain way. Yeah, some people would actually also have like a release of stress by just laughing out. So release can be of various different ways. It really is up to the body how it wants to release. And because we know each body is unique, the release will also be unique in its own way.
Right. Thank you.
Most welcome. Any other questions on this? Yes, please.
Nita ji has a question. She
Yes.
asked, if one learns this technique, can it be done for self also, or do we always need another to do it for self?
So you can do it for yourself. For example, if I just show you, you can touch the points which are given and you can do it for yourself. So this is basically how it goes. I touch various different points on the head. There is a certain system. There is also something that we say for the release to happen. Of course, that is not something that I want to talk about here, but it is what we do as a practitioner. But since this is about receiving, it's a great idea for you to go to another practitioner and get it done. Because as you receive, you also give. Remember, I said the energy, the bar's energies flow through the practitioner. So sometimes, uh, in fact, not sometimes, every time, they will receive as they're giving you the bar session. And so, therefore, it's a very good idea to go and get a bar session done. In fact, it is highly encouraged, even after you learn it, to get it done from someone else. Hope I've answered
Another
that question.
Yes,
Yes, please.
thank you.
Welcome.
another question is, does it help with years of stored repetitive thoughts and trauma when a mind is on autopilot mode with these thoughts?
So, it does definitely help with it. Yet, as I said, you have to uh, pose questions for yourself. Don't forget to use that tool for your own self. What is it that I'm looking for? And this is the other thing that we do when we start the session. We ask for the person to keep in mind that what they want to receive from the session. So when you keep that intention of receiving something which you want, one that starts to work for you. And that could be in somebody's case, these repetitive thoughts of things of trauma which you don't want anymore. Essentially, access bars will help you release anything that your body no longer serves your body or your mind or your emotions or your self as such. So it is going to release all of that. But it may take time. Any other questions? I'm so glad that questions are coming up because that's a very important tool of access bars. So kindly always use that tool of the questions and also the mantra. Just try it for some time and see for yourself what it could do for you. Okay. So may I go on with Bowen therapy, which is the other therapy that I practice at Sampurnam. So
Sorry,
Bowen
Nita ji, to interrupt you. There's
therapy.
another beautiful question.
Mhm.
Um, and the question is, why is it that after the session I feel heaviness and sadness followed by tears, but next day I feel light?
That is also a beautiful question. Yeah, definitely it is. And please remember, tears or any kind of sadness which is coming up is toxins releasing from the body. Allow it to happen. Look at what is a possibility after. The after is the next day when you feel lighter. So, allowing for releases to happen from the body, which it requires maybe a session of this kind for it to be able to release it. Please let it happen. And that is the reason why it happens. Because these are all toxins which we are holding on to in our body. We can call it toxins, we can call it memories, we can call it something in our subconscious mind which we can't put a finger to. It can be called any of those things, but it needs a release. I hope I've answered your question.
So, Neeta ji, as you said this, so I'm sure that everybody has a unique way of responding to it. There must be some bodies who are, are the much more receptive and ready to release, waiting for some stimulation and ready to release, whereas some take lot more time because of, whatever reasons.
Right.
So
So,
it
one of
works
the
that
things,
ways.
it does work that way, Ruchi. I would agree with it a little bit. But I do think people, when they come for a therapy, at least for me, I feel when people come for a therapy to me, they have already cosmically connected with me. That is the reason
Hmm.
why they came. Otherwise, why would a sannyasin from, say, from a Vrindavan come to me looking for me? See, there has to be something beyond just an advertisement, an Instagram post, or there has to be something beyond that which is connecting us. So when the
Which means so
person,
receptivity is already in place.
it should be to some
It should
extent.
be.
See,
Hmm.
again, the degree of it will change depending on the person. So for
Hmm.
some people, it will be very, they will be very receptive, but for some, they're still unsure. And for some, of course, I do have such people who come because मेरी वाइफ ने बोला है कराने के लिए तो मैं आ गया हूँ कराने. अब वो
Hmm.
फर्स्ट टाइम तो उन्होंने वाइफ के बोलने से करा लिया, लेकिन अगली बार वो खुद आए और उसके बाद
Hmm.
अपने फ्रेंड को भी लाए. And he wanted me to work on a Sunday for him so that, they could, because they don't have leaves as lawyers, he said. So therefore, if you can do it on a Sunday. So you can just see that resistance starts to come down for a person once they have experienced it. वरना उससे पहले इट्स
Okay.
लाइक पता नहीं क्या चीज है, क्यों कर रहे हैं आप ऐसे, बस छूरे से तो कैसे हो जाएगा कुछ भी. It is not the practitioner in any of these therapies, it is not the practitioner, it's facilitating the body and that energy of the body to release itself. Yeah. Any other questions here? This is really interesting. Thank you so much for coming up with your questions. It just makes, access bars seem like it is reaching all of you. So then, can I go on with the Bowen therapy? Yeah. Okay. So, Bowen therapy is a body work. We touch the body at various different places and do moves on it. It is a soft fascial release technique. So, basically, fascia is like a connective tissue in the body, and it is mostly gel material. Okay, it is gel material, and so we all know that our bodies are about 70 to 75% made of water, and we work on that fascia in Bowen therapy. And this is gentle, it's so gentle that it can be you can work on a newborn baby, and you can even work on a very old person. Each move is followed by a pause and allowing the nervous system to reset. So, what is the nervous system really? Here, we are moving the nervous system from a sympathetic mode to a parasympathetic. नाउ ये सुनने में वर्ड्स बड़े हैं, बट अगर हम समझने की कोशिश करें तो अगर हमें कभी कोई चीज से फ्राइट हो रहा है या हमें कोई ट्रॉमा मिला है, उससे क्या होता है, बॉडी के अंदर एक फ्राइट और फ्रीज हो जाता है और फिर वो बॉडी बंद होनी शुरू हो जाती है. Whereas with Bowen therapy, we move it to a system where we de-stress the nervous system and we allow it to relax and repair itself. And we give pauses in between two moves, essentially for the body mind to connect. Once the body mind starts to connect, we find that the body starts opening up. Body also gives us lots of hints as we work on the body. We get to see people who will get sensations like on their finger tingling, feet में tingling, कई बार कोई pain बढ़ जाती है. Pain बढ़ना is also because Bowen therapy is seen as homeopathic of the body. होम्योपैथिक में भी ऐसे होता है, बहुत बार डॉक्टर्स हमें बताते हैं होम्योपैथिक के कि आप जब मेडिसिन लेंगे आपकी प्रॉब्लम बढ़ेगी और फिर अपने आप घटेगी, और बावन में भी ऐसा हो सकता है. And releases of crying, um, falling asleep, all these are ways of the body to release things for itself. See, sleep is generally first session mein, mostly I would say 90% of the people fall asleep because the body gets so relaxed that it's just able to fall asleep easily. Also, sleep has to do with safety. The therapy itself has moves which gives the feeling to the body that I am in a safe space. I can release myself. And that is how it works. Now, Bowen can help with many things. For example, any kind of chronic pain. And invariably हमारे पास आते लोग chronic pain के साथ ही हैं. क्योंकि जब acute होता है कोई pain तो mostly सब doctors पे ही जाएंगे. And Bowen is when knee pain है, मैंने ये ट्राई किया, मैंने वो ट्राई किया, मैंने सब ट्राई किया, लेकिन बाद में भी वापस आ गया. So chronic pain of that kind can be helped with Bowen. Stress related tensions, anything which is stress related, digestive discomfort. Of course, digestion is also affected by stress. Sleep issues, bodily restrictions, especially today's time with the computers, laptops, and the handheld phones. We are always stressing our neck, our wrists, our fingers, everything, our back, our postures. Everything is getting affected because of our lifestyle in today's time. So Bowen can actually help release those things for you. Emotional stress also, which is stored in the body, will show up as pain. And this list can go on. Two examples that I want to give you are about this lawyer who was a young man who came to me with epilepsy. And much as he was taking his medicines, his episodes were coming quite often. And he really was looking for something which will sort him out once and for all. Bowen has an entire protocol of about 7 to 8 sessions where after that boy was didn't require to have his medicines and he was completely fine. Apart from that, there are people who want to who wanted to get pregnant, and because of advanced age, stress related life, was unable to hold the IVF. But Bowen balanced the body enough for the person to be able to conceive. So it helps in many, many things, not just in some, typical things that we hear of, a frozen shoulder, neck issue. Those are some of the common things that we talk about. But this, I find that Bowen can help on many, many levels. And the three most important W's of Bowen are water, walk, and weight. As I said, water is something that our body is made up of. If we do not hydrate our body enough or sufficiently, then the body will show its signs by showing us pain. Now, what is pain? Pain is also a language. Your body is speaking to you through pain. Are you listening to it? And so sometimes I find for some people, just by changing their way of drinking water, they actually, or increasing their water intake makes them much, much better. And they don't really need so many sessions of Bowen then. Walk, as in going for a walk, yeah, but at the same time, not keeping your body stationary for more than 35-40 minutes every time, especially when we are awake. Of course, when we sleep, we just sleep. But when we are awake, we should move about. Again, a lifestyle problem of watching television or a screen, and therefore we don't get up, or we are working at a desk, and therefore we do not get up from our seat. So, one of the suggestions that I give to most people is to keep your water away from your desk. Every half an hour or 35 minutes, get up, go, have a few sips, and come back and sit. This way, you have taken care of two of those W's. What is the wait? The wait is to wait and watch. What are the changes that are coming about in your body with Bowen? So Bowen is a complementary therapy. It can be done with many, many other things, including allopathy, Ayurveda, homeopathic, all of that. Yet, it cannot be mixed with physiotherapy or massage because that can work counterproductive. In Bowen, the moves are done in a certain manner. And when we do massage, we actually undo those things for the body. Or physiotherapy also would undo that for the body. So, generally, if somebody is getting those things done, we suggest for them to uh, complete it and then come back to us. All right. Uh, Two tools that I want to give you from Bowen is firstly, Mr. Bowen, who was an Australian, started this in about 1950s in Geelong in Australia. It's named after him. And a lot of people get confused with this name and they say, what is this? But it's named after the man who started it. One of the things that he always suggested for kidney cleaning was to have half a glass of beetroot juice or eat 2 slices of beetroot for it. Now, this can be good for most people, and those who know that their kidneys probably require for it to be, taken care of, can also follow that. The second one is Bowen for everyone, as this is showing. Can you see one arrow going up? Now, this is the space where you feel discomfort when you feel any kind of bloating, gas, and any kind of food related digestive problems that you feel. Now, this little move of inhaling, exhaling, bringing this portion down, the skin, you have to pull it down gently. And as you exhale, you do it and then you take it up. If I can just show it on the video. So, what we do is there is a bone here, and you take it up and bring it down. That's all you need to do. I'm doing it standing because I wanted you to see it, but you need to do this lying down. First, take a few deep breaths before you start doing it. And then do it once, twice, thrice, and see how much of a difference it will do for you rather than just popping a antacid or pudin hara. Unless you really are in a lot of pain and you're not able to handle it, this would settle it for anyone, including a small baby and anyone else. So basically, these are the tools that I had in mind to give to you. And if there are any questions that you have, I could answer them now. I think I'm stopping the video now. So stop. Yeah. Okay.
Ma'am, can you re-show what you did at the very end?
Yes, of course, I can re-show it. But please lie down and do it because
Sure.
that is the most effective way to do it. ठीक है? तो आप लेटेंगे, आप if you touch here, you will see a bone at the end of your sternum. There is a bone. Okay? आपने उससे 2 fingers नीचे आना है ब्रीद इन एंड ब्रीद आउट करना है, और आउट के बाद आप उसको ऊपर फेंक करेंगे, कैन यू सी इट गोइंग अप, एंड देन आप नीचे लेके आएंगे.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, most welcome. Any other questions about Bowen therapy? Anyone who's experienced it would like to share something about it?
So I see a question in the chat,
Yes, please.
Anita ji.
Mm-hmm.
How does pain from emotional stress show up in the body, and how to identify pain that comes from emotional stress?
So, pain which comes up from emotional stress or any other kind of stress will show up in the body in various different ways. Um, when it is a emotional pain, you will feel a certain kind of what should I call it? Like a lethargy, as if. See, pain by itself can be one thing. When it's a bodily pain, it's one kind of pain. I think all of us who have gone through life have understood that when it's an emotional pain, it's of a different kind. It just makes you as if there is no, you know, as if there's no fun in life, as if it just brings you down. Whereas when it is a pain, say a knee pain or a neck pain, you will just feel it. Now, having done so many other things for those things, if you still come back for another session of, Bowen, then I do understand that this is not coming only from a physical pain. So, as a practitioner, as a therapist, I do find that a lot of times people benefit from an access bars before getting any of these other therapies done, or a body talk which can actually go to the root cause of that issue and release it. Also with Bowen, I mean, interestingly, when the person is on the bed, a lot of things come out, lot of things, the body starts talking to you in terms of when you're touching it, certain stresses start showing up. So if you ask me if I'm working on someone, I would know, but to answer it, I can only look at this.
Can I add to that,
Please, please,
Neetaji?
please, Dr. Man.
So sometimes there are two more signs that we also see is that usually an emotional stagnation related pain can sometimes be moving. If you have, let's say, a trauma or
Mm.
something, it's usually fixed at one point. That pain usually travels. Sometimes you feel it here, sometimes you feel it here, moves.
Mm.
And second, many a times it's felt as a contraction. Sympathetic nervous system makes us sympathetic is that fight and flight
Right.
Neetaji was talking about, and usually it's felt as a contraction. And you can let's say you do some relaxation practice, and your muscle relaxes, and you feel better in that pain. So that is probably one simplest way we can recognize that how we hold tension in our body, and that's usually some emotional related, and that memory, and that has multiple layers of events and emotional trauma or different things that are stored in that area over and over again, and every little thing which will trigger it that day will make the muscle tense again. So these are two more signs of emotional pain
Sure, I
related
would
to it.
agree with that. Yeah, I would. Sure. Any other questions that I can answer regarding Bowen therapy or otherwise?
I can
Mm.
share my experience of doing both access bars and bowens. Bowens,
Yes,
I think
please.
I did with Neetaji probably 7 years back, 7, 8 years back. So I find that again, these are very subtle therapies. Sometimes when you do a session, you may or may not feel something during that time. But over time, when you do it one over the second and the third and the fourth time, you see that relaxation building up in the body, and Sometimes some things they just go away. Your body sheds. Like you have pain and you take a painkiller, you see an immediate effect. Here you somehow just forget that there was something, and body goes into a certain ease. So they are subtle, but they are effective, and in a way they help. Sometimes we are so used to doing things to, we want to actively do something to make things better. These are processes which invite that presence in us, which naturally unblocks whatever is happening and brings a sense of ease and relaxation. So I really value what these sessions brought to me. So thank you, Neetaji. So there's another question: who should seek Bowen therapy?
Okay, so to answer that question, I'd like to say people come for Bowen therapy mostly when they have some kind of pain. Yet, people who get better, and most people do get better, they come back just for a maintenance, just to remain in the state of relaxation where their body starts to work for itself. So that can be done once in 3 months, once in 6 months. But anyone who is facing a pain which is, not getting resolved due to whatever reason, Bowen can help for many, many things. And so, I mean, I really can't say who should. I would say who shouldn't come for it, because I think it can help for anyone. I mean, I want to tell you that since Bowen came into my life, I don't think my children have ever gone to a doctor for a pain or any kind of, issue. They are mostly, they get a therapy done with me and they're good to go. And so many times there are some short things that we do, like, somebody walking and suddenly they fall down and they're so, flustered about it. There are moves in Bowen when you just touch the person and do it, they just spring back to life as if. So it's a beautiful therapy. I would love for all of you to experience it. If you are in Delhi, I am available anytime you'd like to come. But Bowen is available in a lot of cities in India and abroad also. I mean, of course, it's from Australia, so it's available all over the world. But in India, in Delhi, I'm there, and there are so many others in Bombay, Pune, Hyderabad, Chennai, I think. So, yes, you can get it done. It is also possible to do it distance, but because distance is something that calls for a lot of the practitioner's energy, we are discouraged from doing it most of the times, unless it's really required. So during COVID, I would do it because that was a time when we could not meet people. But otherwise, no. Yes. Yes, Shubhangi, were you saying something?
So, Dr. Neetaji, if someone comes to you for any of these therapies, how do you decide, whether to give access bars or a Bowen therapy? No, what is the parameter for that?
So mostly, Ruchi, people who come, they are already sure of what they want to get done. So one
Okay.
of the things is as they walk into the room, there is a certain energy with which they come. And if I
Hmm.
can sense that energy and I find that they are open to accepting what I want to probably do for them, then I would suggest. But there are times when
Okay.
people have just come, like I said, that man who just came because his wife asked him to come, then I would allow for that thing to happen and then let him first get used to. See, it's also very important for us to build our, connect with the person who walks in. They don't know us. And so, therefore, it's important for us to give them that space where they are taking the lead for themselves. And I'm not, forcing my thinking on him or her. So, I would generally not suggest unless the person seems open to it. That is when I will discuss the other therapies and I would try and tell them that they can try it to see what would work for them. But in Bowen therapy, we generally want people to do at least three sessions to be able to see something for themselves. Because invariably, we live in a world of instant gratification. We want results immediately. None of these therapies are magic. They're magic because they work on the root cause and get you out of a system completely, which you needed to get out of. But it's not like I've there's a magic wand and I've done that and the person is like. So you have to give it time. But there are times when people have shown great results even with one or two sessions, but that really depends on the body. Any other questions which are there? No.
Do
Thank
we
you,
have
Nita.
any more questions? Yeah, Dr. Mankal, would you like to take the floor?
Yeah.
I think before that, can I
One
just
more
thank
question.
everyone?
Yeah,
Uh,
there's one more question,
yeah,
Anita
please.
ji.
Yes, please.
Um, does the release of any blockage through the healer affect the healer?
Well, not really, because the healer is in a space of, you know, facilitating, helping, and therefore protected in its own way. So it does not affect them in that way. Yes, but of course, when somebody is emotional, say after a session, it can affect you in terms of for that moment what you feel for them, but otherwise not really. If you mean of taking on negative energies and things like that, well, not really. I would not agree with that, and I think one comes into this role only because one is able to handle it. I hope I've answered that question. So let me just thank everyone for the time that you have given me. And I hope that the practices or the tools that I have given you will be of help to you. And you can, once you practice it, I'd like to hear from you how you feel about it or what are the possibilities that you've seen for yourself. And I just hope that you feel lighter after this session, you feel more awakened, you find your possibilities of life, and get in touch with me whenever you want to. I'm available to all of you. Thank you so much. And I'm hoping to see all of you sometime soon. And I'll hand over to Dr. Mankul, who will take us through a short meditation to help us ground ourselves again. Thank you.
Thank you, Nita ji. So we just thought that maybe we can end on a little 5 minute meditation, which will help us internalize whatever we've explored today with Nita ji. Again, just like the first session, um, it won't be a scripted meditation, but let's see what emerges. I'll connect with the energies of all of us in this group. We are 22 of us right now, and let's see what emerges. So we can start by taking 3 deep breaths and visualize our lotus in the center of our hearts. And breathe through the lotus. Going deeper and deeper with each breath. We affirm to ourselves all life comes to us with ease, joy, and glory. We feel the presence in the heart of the beloved, the divine, or the figure of wisdom and love, in whatever way and form, close to us, in the heart, and repeat. All life comes to us with ease, joy, and glory. And feel the light in the lotus brighten. And let that light with ease and joy and glory expand to every cell of the body, starting from the feet to the calf, to the thighs, the buttocks, the back, and the chest and belly. Breathing through the heart, through the lotus. This light expands to the hands, forearms, arms, the neck, and the head. Breathing through the heart, we let this light expand beyond to our entire home, city, country, earth, solar system, galaxy, and this universe. And as we breathe a universal breath, we ask the eternal question, who am I? Am I this body? Am I only this body? Am I this mind? Or am I this infinite joy of the Spirit? With this spiritual identity, with this expansion of the Spirit, one again goes back and feels in the body, Is there part of this body which still feels contracted? What is stopping the being from progressing? Witnessing from the heart, where is the resistance? At all those places, with stillness, with acceptance, allowing a higher light to come in. I receive this higher light with ease. I receive this higher consciousness with ease. I am infinite. I am ever grateful. Feeling a flow of light and love and joy and glory entering into those parts which still resist, receiving the ease of the higher consciousness. I am ever grateful to this higher consciousness for bringing this expansion in the awareness, in the body, in the mind, liberating that spirit, that ever little step forward. Thank you. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschit Dukha Bhag. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Mankul, for the lovely meditation. Thank you, Neetaji, for guiding us through today's session. And thank you to everyone here for taking the time to pause and do this session with us. We look forward to seeing you again next week on 30th December for week 5 of the Inner Healing Collective. We are halfway there. Until then, take care of yourselves. Have a good night.